Hello, everyone, and a huge, warm welcome to the very first episode of Slow Talk. We are so thrilled to finally launch this new series, dedicated to slowing down the language learning process and focusing purely on building your confidence and fluency. No rushing, no stress. I'm Ellie, your host, and with me today is my great friend and an inspiring language learner, Tom. Welcome, Tom.
Hi, Ellie. It's fantastic to be here. I think learners will really appreciate this relaxed, deeper dive pace. So often, language content is too fast, and that just adds to the anxiety.
Exactly. Our goal is to make listeners feel calm and ready to absorb the information. Today, we're tackling a huge, foundational subject, the 5 major mental roadblocks, the internal habits, that prevent even advanced students from achieving true speaking fluency. We'll break down why you freeze up and then give you practical tools to break free.
These are the mistakes that keep your English knowledge stuck in your grammar book. We need to turn that knowledge into sound. Let's start with the most destructive habit.
Roadblock number 1, perfectionism. This is the psychological barrier. It's the belief that you cannot open your mouth until you are 100% sure your sentence structure is flawless.
This truly defined my early attempts. I remember standing in a public setting trying to describe a simple day trip, and my brain was running an entire regression test on every tense. Did I use the correct preposition? Should that be had gone or just went? By the time I decided, the group was already laughing about something else. The moment was lost.
That feeling of isolation is real, but think about this, Tom. You sacrifice the moment, the conversation, and the connection for a minor grammatical detail. We need to replace the thought, "Is this perfect?" with the question, "Is this understandable?"
That's such a powerful mindset shift. So how do we physically stop the brain from doing that internal grammar check?
We use a physical tool, the 3-second rule.
Let's break that down slowly.
The rule is simple. When a speaker finishes their sentence, you have a maximum of 3 seconds to initiate sound. You must start talking, not thinking. This forces your brain to prioritize flow over flaw. If you need time, use a native filler word. That's part of the flow.
I love that. So instead of a 10-second silence, I say, "Well, that's a good point." Or, and that buys me 2 seconds to formulate the rest of the thought.
Exactly. Practice using those filler words. They make you sound natural and fluent. Remember this key concept. Fluency is the ability to maintain the pace of the conversation. It is not about perfect grammar. It is about momentum. Embrace the small mistakes and embrace the filler words. Moving on to roadblock 2, literal word-for-word translation. This is the mental friction that arises from trying to map your native language structure directly onto English.
This is particularly tricky because many sentences are grammatically correct when translated, but they sound utterly bizarre to a native speaker. For example, in my language, we might literally say, "I have big hunger," to express, "I am very hungry."
And a student will say, "I have hunger." And while the listener understands, they immediately mark you as a non-native speaker. And more importantly, your brain had to do 3 steps. 1. Idea in native language. 2. Translate word by word. 3. Structure in English. It's too slow.
It's exhausting and inefficient. So, the ultimate hack here is to learn in language chunks, not individual words.
Yes, we cannot stress this enough. When you learn, your brain needs to store templates. When you meet a new word like the verb put, don't learn it alone. Learn the whole chunk. To put up with, meaning to tolerate, or to put off, meaning to postpone.
That changes everything. It means my notebook isn't a list of isolated vocabulary. It's a collection of ready-to-use mini-sentences.
Precisely. Practical task. For the next week, every time you encounter a new phrasal verb or idiom, write down the entire sentence you found it in. Your brain will start retrieving, "I look forward to seeing you," as one single unit, skipping the translation and massively boosting your speed. It's about training your intuition. Roadblock 3, passive learning only. You are a champion listener and reader, but when the microphone is turned on, you freeze. You have high comprehension but zero production.
This is the most frustrating stage for so many. You know the language, but the physical skill of speaking hasn't been developed.
Because speaking is a physical skill, Tom. It involves mouth movements, muscle memory, and the rapid synchronization of your auditory and motor functions. You can read a book on lifting weights, but that won't make you strong. You have to lift the weights.
We need to force output. How do we do that immediately, even if we don't have a speaking partner?
We rely on two powerful solo hacks. First, shadowing. Find a short clip, start with just 30 seconds, listen to a sentence and immediately repeat it, trying to exactly mimic the speaker's intonation and rhythm. You are literally training your mouth to move in an English way. Do this for 5 minutes every day.
And the second one, which I swear by, is the active listening journal. Ellie, let's detail this systemically for our listeners.
The system works like this. First, listen to any English material for 20 minutes. Second, choose 3 high-value phrases you heard. Third, write them down in your journal. Fourth, and this is the crucial step, force yourself to use those 3 phrases in a conversation that same day, even if it's just a monologue in the mirror or a voice note to yourself.
This forces accountability. It bridges the gap between passive reception and active production. If you don't commit to that 4th step, the phrases stay passive.
And finally, an extra tip for output, the 1-minute challenge. Set a timer for 60 seconds and talk non-stop about any random topic, your morning coffee, the weather, your cat. Just talk, don't stop. The goal is flow, not content. Roadblock 4, vocabulary overload. The mistaken belief that advanced fluency requires prioritizing rare, academic, or overly complex words.
I see students constantly slow down, trying to retrieve the word melancholy when they could just say sad. The search for that complex synonym causes a 4-second pause, which breaks the flow.
And fluency is broken. Research supports the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, for vocabulary. A small percentage of words accounts for the vast majority of usage. You need to focus on the 1,000 most common words list until they are automated.
So the language hack is focus on simple, high-frequency words until they require 0 retrieval time.
Exactly. Your speech is limited by the speed of your slowest word retrieval. If your core words are fast, your speech is fast. Prioritize speed.
Let's give an example comparison. Instead of struggling for to endeavor, use to try. Instead of gargantuan, use huge. The simple words are your fluency accelerators. They are the backbone of natural conversation.
And finally, roadblock 5. Panicking when you forget a word. The mental silence that stops your confidence completely.
It happens to everyone, even to native speakers. The key is having a strategy.
The strategy is the Fluency Lifeline, circumlocution, using simple words you do know to describe the word you don't know. Don't stop. Describe.
Let's end with a trickier example. If I forget the word for the financial term mortgage, what would I say?
You could say, it's the very large loan you take from the bank when you buy a house. You perfectly communicated the idea without knowing the complex word.
That's powerful. The lifeline is the most effective way to protect your fluency.
Absolutely. So let's quickly recap our 5 essential shifts. Embrace the 3-second rule. Learn in chunks, activate your passive knowledge daily, simplify your vocabulary for speed, and always use your Fluency Lifeline.
Fantastic advice, Ellie. Thank you for this slow talk.
Thank you, Tom, for sharing your experience, and thank you to all our listeners for joining this first episode of Slow Talk. If you found this useful, please hit subscribe and share this episode. We'll be back next week to continue building your English confidence. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.